In this demonstration, I'm going to show you how to create an Azure policy. So what I want to achieve is that I want to use a policy to restrict deployment of Azure resources to a specific location. So the first thing that I will do is that I will create a policy assignment to restrict deployment of Azure resources to specific location. And after that, I will test the policy to see if it's actually working or not. So here is my Azure portal. So I will look for Azure policy. So I will type policy here and I will select policy. Then in the Azure policy, the first thing I'm going to show you is where you can find the list of all the policy that that do exist. So if you come to the authoring section and you click on these definitions, these definitions will show you the list of all the policies that we have in Azure, the policy that you can actually implement to be in control of deployment or certain things that are happening in your Azure. So there are a lot of them. These policies are many, and that is why if you come to this place, you see all categories. So you can, uncheck this all category for instance, and try to check any of these checkbox so that you can see the policies that are related to those categories. For example, I can look for compute. If I go to compute, if I check compute for instance and I click apply, it's going to show me the list of all the policy that I can apply to any of my compute resources. You can see one of them, allow virtual machine size SKUs, and so on and so forth. For example, if I click on this, allow virtual machine size SKU, this one actually enables you to specify a set of virtual machine size SKU that you want them to be able to deploy in your organization. Now I'm going to return back to the policy and I will click on the assignments. When you get to the assignment, it will give you the list of all the existing policies that are active. So these are the policies that are active on my Azure right now. Now, if I click on the assign policy, from here I can create a new policy. The first thing I need to do is to determine the scope of that policy. For example, this policy can be applicable at the management level. It can also be at the subscription level or resource group level. So I will select the subscription. I will not restrict it to any resource group. So I will click the select. So that is the scope. The next thing that is important here is the policy definition. So I will click here so that I can look for the policy definition. So from here now, I'm looking for a policy that can allow me to restrict users to a certain region anytime they want to create Azure resources. So I will type allowed location, and you can see it's searching for anything related to what I type here. This is it. There are other ones here like allow locations for resource group. We also have allow locations and also Azure Cosmos DB allow locations. This is the one I need, so I will check it and I will click add. After that, the next thing I just need to do is to properly name this. Um, okay, I'll just call it, leave it like that, allowed locations. Now, the most important thing now is to come to the parameter tab. This way I will now specify which location. So from this drop down, if I select this drop down now, I can say, okay, which location do I want to allow resources to be deployed into? So I can check all the locations that I want. And if you look at it here, our regions are arranged based on the area where they are. For instance, these are all the regions in the US. We also have regions in Asia Pacific. We also have regions in where? Europe. We also have regions in South Africa, and we also have regions in Canada and Mexico, Middle East, South America, and so on. So I'm looking for a region in Japan, and I'm going to choose Japan West. So by selecting this, it simply means that I only want resources to be deployed into Japan West. Then I will click Review plus Create, then I will click Create. So this will deploy that policy into my Azure account. Remember the scope. It will be applicable to pay-as-you-go subscription. Here is the new policy, allowed location. So it shows now that it is active. It is active. That's why you can see that policy here. Let's now go ahead and test this policy. So I will go to storage account to create a storage account. So what I will do is that I will try to deploy the storage account into East US. Remember, it's not supposed to work. Why? Because we have restricted everything to a single region, which is the Japan West. So you can see it's already telling me something very important, that there's a policy that has to do with this area, which is called allowed location. If I click here now, I will see information about that policy if I have right to do that anyway. So being an administrator now, I can do it, but in your own environment or in your own case, you might not see it if you don't have a right to be able to see that. So remember the subscription, pay as you go. Then the resource group, I'll just pick any resource group here. So I have this resource group 1. Then the storage account is going to be 1759 storage account. Let me choose from this list here. And as you can see, something is wrong, allowed location, because I didn't pick the region that I restricted the whole thing to, the Japan. Is it Japan East or Japan West? The Japan West, yes. So I will click Review plus Create now. This is just to confirm. It's going through validation now. You can see validation failed. Why? If I come back to this tab, I will see the reason. It's because I'm trying to deploy it to a region, and there is already a policy that says that I have to deploy it into the Japan West. So let's pick Japan West. Let's see what will happen. So Japan West is in Asia Pacific. So I'll pick Japan West. Let's see. You can see it's not saying anything again. If I click Review plus Create, ordinarily it will show me the Create button now. So you can see I now have the Create button. So it simply shows that the policy that will deploy is actually working. If I pick any region that is not Japan West, it will not allow the resources to be deployed. This is a good thing to implement in your environment. The essence of restricting your users to certain region might be because of cost, security, and other things. It might be because of compliance. So these are some of the reasons why you might need to restrict your resources to a certain region. So I will click Create now, and to go ahead and actually create these resources. So what we have learned in this demonstration is that you can implement Azure Policy, and that's what we did. We created an Azure Policy to restrict deployment of an Azure resources to a particular data center. Thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, consider subscribing to this channel. Please, let me know what you think in the comment section. And do not forget to leave a like and share this video. See you in the next one.